Alright, but you know what? I'm not going to pull no punches, no stalling. It is what it is. I am a black man, 32-year-old black man. I might not look it, but I am. And I'm gonna speak on some issues in regards to the whole racial climate and all this stuff going on with Kobe and Gayle and all this animosity. Some that's justified, but a lot of it is misunderstood in a lot of ways too. Now, when I say misunderstood, I mean in the sense that certain certain sects of the black community don't understand the position that's really being pushed to the mainstream in the forefront. I'm gonna start off really talking about light skin, dark skin, or whatever. This is my personal theory and my personal viewpoint on certain things. Now, like I said, I'm a black man. I'm light. You know, I got light privilege in some ways. A lot of times when I'm in the hood or I'm in my general environment where I grew up, the urban areas or whatever, I'm surrounded by dark people. I don't want to say black people because I'm black just like them. They're just darker than me. And I get the notion because of the way how I carry myself and how I may speak on occasion that I'm white. I'm not. I'm just like you. But let me go around some real white folks. They know off the rip. They know from a mile away that I'm a nigga. So in that sense of the word, in terms of identity, for me myself, I had to really understand certain things in regards to what's really going on. I hope I'm not starting to ramble, but I'm gonna put it to you in this way in terms of certain things. Now, going back to the days of slavery or whatever the case is, you know, you had the house niggas and the field niggas, the light skinned folks in the house with the big boss, and you had the workers in the field picking cotton. Now, I will say this: slavery was not cool by no means. And what happened to the field slaves was brutal beyond. I can't even. And I done seen some shit, but it was like at the end of the day, all of this generational backlash between black, dark, and light. You gotta understand. You gotta understand. All of this comes down to is trauma. The trauma that they dealt with because they were so brutally beaten and maimed and tortured and whatnot. They have a lot of animosity towards the light-skinned people because they was just simply in the house. But I don't think that a lot of dark-skinned black folks understand that the field, the house niggas endured just as much trauma as them, if not worse. And it's not about who had it worse, light-skinned people, dark-skinned people. We both equally had it fucked up, just in different measures. How did light-skinned people, how did the house niggas deal with trauma? Look, you got a man who sees you as a slave, no less. Doesn't see you as a field slave because you look like him. But at the end of the day, he knows that you're not him. But he'll give you the notion that he cares about you. He'll give you the notion that you are superior to your brothers who are out in the fields, who are just like you. And one of the most detrimental things amongst the black community is language manipulation and how that can instill trauma. Even still going to this day, Willie Lynch was a bad motherfucker. If he really was able to continue this legacy the way how it's going. And I say that for me because I'm dealing with my own personal issues now, in which I'm being vilified by my own family, no less. And we talk about the emasculation and of the black of black people, of black men, no less, not just black people but black men more specifically, because women got a part to play in this too, and they don't even understand, or maybe they do, maybe they don't understand the role and the factors that they play into the destruction of the black man itself. Going back to, you know, feminism, or whatever the case is, female empowerment. Yes, I'm all for female empowerment, absolutely, but not at the not at the detriment of your equal human counterpart. In a sense, misogyny is not good for men to go around bashing women. So what makes it acceptable for women to go around bashing men? No less. You want to talk about the sudden rise in urban homosexuality or whatever the case is? A lot of it. I'm 32, so a lot of people that I was around, that I grew. Oh Lord, this dang thing. That I grew up in single mother households and dealing with things that was like, okay, you don't, I don't need no man or whatever. I don't need no man, or you gonna be like your father. Speaking in negative lights and negative aspects about black men, often to their sons. There wasn't no. We already know that in terms of a lot of things, there wasn't no male structure in those households for whatever reason, whether it was from mass incarceration, BS, or whatever the case is. So now, your son done grew up and is showing and showcasing a lot of your tendencies as a mom, and not as a mom, but as a female and as a woman. And then you want to bash him. Why you ain't a man? Look, you told me you don't need no man. You downplay all dudes ain't shit. All niggas ain't shit. The woman is always the victim at the end of the day, which it's not always true. It's not always true. How do you expect to bring up a new generation of strong black men when all you doing is tearing them down? You doing is tearing them down. Now everybody want to talk about Gayle King. This is where I get to touch on the whole Gayle King thing in regards to how she may not even understand what's going on. Oprah, we know Oprah know what's good. Oprah is the only black woman in Hollywood to amass the amount of wealth and fortune that she has, to have her own network. A black woman who has a network, a major cable network, no less. Yet and still, Cosby tried to do that. He a rapist, He might have admitted to some things, but stop. Who hasn't in Hollywood? Everybody done did some shit they wasn't supposed to in Hollywood to get a leg up or to get a step up or to come up some way somehow. But I'm right not going to touch on that. Now, here's the thing with this whole thing with Gayle in the interview. And she said, oh, CBS made it in this light that I was just speaking on that one thing, even though it was a wide-ranging interview or whatever the case is. And that's, well, why is everybody coming at? Because it's the way how you did it. Everybody knows, everybody's touching on how you did it. Not the fact that you asked the question, but it was the timing that you asked the question when Kobe wasn't even buried in the ground yet. And then they want to talk about how you're doing, what you're doing is trying to tarnish this man for what he done, all the positive that he done, all the accolades that he's done, whether it's on the basketball court or off of something that wasn't even relevant. That wasn't even relevant. What are you bringing that up for? Now, how does she not understand? Maybe she don't understand because you know that your handlers that are in that position of power who are over you can put you in that position. So why would you even want to ask that question? I'm sure it was at your discretion to ask that question. I don't think CBS made you ask that question. That's me personally. I don't think they did. And if they did, they definitely in poor taste. But what does that leave you? Because now, you, Gayle King, being a black woman, no less, motherfuckers don't like you now. Don't nobody want to fuck with you. Like, you done got ousted. In the racial draft, you've been traded for Nancy Pelosi. So, what does that say? What does that say? Oh, well, I didn't know. You ain't said sorry about nothing. You said, oh, well, they made me. They put out that one part of the interview which made it look like that's all I was talking about. But you still ain't apologized, which is what a lot of folks want. Pretty much everybody in the black community want. You know, you focus on, you say that, you say this, and push that narrative, and then you want to play the victim. Everybody want to come at Snoop now for saying what he said. Now, certain things, certain remarks, he said in the heat of the moment, in which a lot of people felt the same way, but I could also understand how that could get, what he said too could get taken out of context, in which he even apologized for that because of that context, talking about we gonna run up on you and this, that, and the third. Folks is crazy. People will do that. So in essence, yeah, and he did. He took accountability for his words, and he went back on that. In terms of his feeling, in terms of that emotion, no, ain't nobody gonna go back on that because you still was wrong. You still was wrong. Now you want to have everybody this Chuck Scarborough, Joe Scarborough talking about he was a murderer when he ain't got no charges. He ain't got no charges. What's up with y'all trying to say that all these black men is violent and predatory and whatnot when you ain't got no proof? You ain't got no proof. If he wasn't convicted, if he don't have a prison record, if he's not on record with the Department of Corrections in any of the 50 states, then damn it, no. You can't say that. You can't say that just to push in there. Oh my God, look at him. He's aggressive. He's a savage. He's a beast. No. You can't say that. And then even with all this extra stuff, when I go back to the point about the uprising, I guess you could say an urban homosexuality in terms of the man not being present in the household. Like what you expect? I grew up in a house with just my mom and my sister. I ain't had my pops wasn't around. Wasn't no dudes around me. I had me questioning myself as a black man. Who am I? From my skin tone to my sexuality based off of things that I dealt with and I endured. People need to understand that this light skin, dark skin shit really needs to stop. Because we all one and the same. You dealt with trauma, being dark, you got maimed, you got whipped, you got your skin ripped off or whatever. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. I feel for you. I really do. For all of y'all who all the dark people who had the ancestors who was in the slave fields, who was lynched from trees or whatever the case was, I feel for you. But understand from my perspective, as a light-skinned black man, we dealt with trauma too. And that trauma is still going on to this day, which is in turn affecting y'all with this light-skinned, dark-skinned superiority bullshit when that's not the case. It's red versus blue when the motherfuckers is causing the rift, the unnecessary rift. So just needs to stop. It just needs to stop. The black man, not even just the black man, men in general, but because of this specific situation, I keep saying black men. Like we damn near extinct. You know, and we got to do something. We got to do something to stand up for ourselves. It's nothing wrong with embracing your masculinity. It's nothing wrong with being a man. It's nothing. Just because they and then they try to give you this narrative. Oh, men don't cry. Men is strong. Men is tough. No. You know why? A lot of these motherfuckers out here is running wild, pissed off, and angry because of that same notion that was told to them growing up that you're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to show no emotion. So what the fuck? You want me to become a fucking sociopathic serial killer? Because when you harbor all of those emotions and you have no release, you end up becoming like a pressure cooker. And when you pop, oh shit. Then everybody want to blame you. But what about the avenues and opportunities for men, for black men to express themselves without having to be chastised? Or, oh, well, he a bitch because he crying. He ain't going to look at that motherfucker. He's tough. Why I'm soft? Because I'm expressing myself? Because I'm being true to myself? That makes me soft? That makes me less of a man? Regardless of whatever your identity may be in terms of what you may prefer. Gay, straight, whatever. You can't tell me I'm not a man because I don't want to follow your narrative. And that's the problem. Mainstream black culture wants to follow the narrative of what's being put on TV as what it is to be black. No. It's not. So it just needs to stop. I hope I ain't ramble too much. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. If you please, feel free to give me your feedback on it. I'm sure I'm going to hear all types of craziness, and just try to help help people heal. Don't be so vengeful. Don't be so mean. about things, because especially amongst urban areas, because you talk about, oh, light skin, dark skin, or whatever. I could go outside. I go outside on a regular basis, and sometimes I have little smart remarks made at me because I don't look like the dudes in front of the store who dress in more of an urban fashion than me and my conservative self. You know what I'm saying? And they'll feel because, oh, well, he looked like this, so he trying to act this way. Folks will really try and attack. I'm not saying anybody has attacked me, not physically attacked me, but they will show their displeasure or whatever the case is, or even insinuate certain things about that. And it's like, look, and when they come down to the more urban approach and certain things, they have reasons to be afraid of authority figures and certain things too. But they gotta understand, if the way how you present yourself, you bring things on yourself based off of your presentation. And it's not just because I choose to wear my pants on my waist, and I choose to wear a belt, and I choose to tuck my shirt in, and I choose to be more dressy as opposed to more casual, doesn't make me white. Doesn't make me white at all. If you was one of them hood dudes who was standing in front of the store and you had a job in corporate America, you think you gonna come up in there with your pants off, half off your ass, and all types of flashy jewelry and shit? No. They gonna look at you like, what the fuck is wrong? They gonna look at you with that same mentality that they've been looking at black folks all these years. Like, he ain't got no goddamn sense. This motherfucker gonna be here just to entertain me. Let's see what shit this nigga could do now. So a lot of it is based off perception. If you keep giving these white folks this perception that you just, all you do is don't do nothing, drink liquor or smoke weed every day in front of the store, that's how they gonna view you. So a lot of it comes within the change, and then even the music and stuff, which influences the people to act the way that they do. They don't even see it. Oh yeah, it's fine. No, all of this shit is done by design. People gotta understand and wake up. Y'all always talk shit about the crazy motherfucker until the crazy motherfucker talk about come to pass, and then you want to be like, what are we gonna do? You should have listened. You want to talk about bridging the gap with community relations? That's one way. I hope everybody be alright and just try to spread love as hard as that may be.